evening and welcome to Cape Town Happening for another Bachelorette SA recap with me, Annette, and of course, Didi.
Hello.
There she is. Hi, Didi. A shout out to our media partners as well. Kaapstad Radio and Winelands Happening. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Episode 3, we just saw that and things are heating up. We saw some passionate kisses and a few surprised looks. What an episode and what a surprising rose ceremony. Now, we will introduce the guest to you right after this, so stay tuned. We'll be back right now.
Yes, I was a bit taken back with the fact that Craig is still in the house, and it seems like Quiniso is a little soft on him.
Yes.
But he's definitely not a popular bloke at the moment. We saw 2 fallen roses leaving the scene in tonight's episode. So let's say hi to Mark and Bradley.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Didi. Good evening, Annette. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have us. Now, I have us, have you? So, Mark, you are in the hot seat first tonight. Quiniso felt that you were not sure about wanting to be there. Is that how you felt? And would you have accepted the rose if it was offered to you?
So yeah, it was a bit of a kind of contentious moment that we did share. And I think it stemmed from me not, and I speak for a lot of, I suppose a lot of guys as well, you don't really get that much time with her in a cocktail party. So what people don't understand is, although it's a long and drawn out, you really get very little time. So over the days, we're really spending time with everyone else, but not with her. And I really got to the stage where I needed more time so I could decide if I'm in it or not. And at that moment where I had that time, it was I either did it then or I was very uncertain. So absolutely, I was uncertain whether I was going to stay or not. And yeah, to be honest, I did think about it. I could have said yes and accepted the rose. Not accepted the rose. But that's not who I am. Communication and support and being truthful to both of us was obviously what I wanted to get through. So.
Mark, that's actually very honorable, because at the end of the day, you were also in it for love. So you something was also on the spell for you. So yes, I can understand where you came from. But now, Bradley, did it come to you as a surprise to not receive a rose?
It was a bit of a surprise. However, there were a few awkward moments, I guess, between myself and Quiniso, which unfortunately it might have meant the downfall for not receiving a rose. So I did think that I had a better chance of receiving a rose than some of the other participants at that moment in time.
Yeah. Mark, this one is for you again. It seems like Craig just keeps on stepping on toes. He made sort of peace with the guys towards the end. Do you think the guys are still a bit wary of him and the way he operates?
I think everyone, all the guys in the house play their own game. Everybody came with their own kind of poker face. So no one will really say what they needed to say until they had to say it, if I'm going to put it that way. So yeah. What I did enjoy about the dynamic in the house is, although there was a lot of guys and the house is so big, you could walk into any conversation and walk straight into the conversation without feeling out. whatever the guys were talking about. They were never like stop and stay and turn around. So
Oh, nice.
it was a good, like we had a very serious bro code, and obviously Brad can attest to that. But when someone wanted to say something, there was never negativity or beef. So unless something really out of there happened, we just had this kind of natural flow. So I do think Craig did step on a few toes, and in different instances. One, the touch rugby game, that's completely different. I mean, the guy cheated. Openly, he admitted it. The other one was cutting in on the bro code. So on the timing when other guys were trying to with the grapes, the platter as a waiter. But I mean, that's his own. So you saw they had a bit of an intimate moment when they did tea, and then the other swooping in. So the thing is, like you said, for the game, it's either win or lose. You're competing against everybody else, and you really don't understand what time you don't have with her to spend at a cocktail party. It's very limited. Yeah. You standing here and you've got like a trail of 10 guys eyeing you out, and 2 minutes seems like very short. So yeah, but I do think he's there to stir the pot. So I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, Bradley, I'm going to put you in the hot seat now. It was let go of secret sort of moment, a request from our Bachelorette. Your revelation left you feeling a bit uncertain. Did you end up in hot water after that?
I think I did reveal something quite personal and something very family oriented, which I probably shouldn't have done on this sort of platform or on national television. Although there was a lot of honesty to my statements, I think without context it can be a bit misinterpreted. So I did walk into the conversation quite late, actually, and I wasn't too sure on what the guys were speaking about. And as I entered the table, which you don't really see on TV, but as I walked into the table, then they sort of set the context of the game, and I gave an honest answer from what I what I interpreted it to be. So yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take another break, but before we do, I would just like to thank our sponsors and media partners. The Style by Unisex Salon in Bellville, Scissors on Main in Parel, Paul, how do you say that in English with my Afrikaans tande, Leather Tree Bags and Opgesmikt. Also, Kaapstad Radio and Winelands Happening. Please check out their Facebook pages, show some love and like, follow and share while you're there.
Welcome to Burgundy.
I'm standing still, I'm not breathing. I'm standing still, I'm not listening. Standing still, I'm just feeling. And I feel that this comes from a deeper place. It comes from a deeper. It comes from a deeper place. And the world's spinning in its place. Perfectly.
Welcome back. That was the beautiful Burgundy restaurant in Hermanus, one of our favorite spots. Thank you so much for watching it with us. And here's just a little something that we would like to give you. You can thank us later. You saw our sponsors, and we've named them right in the beginning. We had a short video with our sponsors. Now, if you order anything from Leather Tree Bags, use the promo code CTH and you will receive a free leather gift. Now, take my word, it's really nice. It's not just a key ring, it's a really nice little something. Also, when you order from Opgesmikt, you will get a 5% discount on anything you order using the same code CTH. Now, we are talking Bachelorette SA, and with us tonight, the two fallen roses, Mark and Bradley.
Annette, I'm just a bit worried there. You wanted to say that they can get a leather gig. I was just trying to imagine it here because my brain was like very
Gift.
visibly.
Okay, let me just make it nicely. Gift. 'n persentjie.
Okay, Mark, it's your turn again. Do you feel you used your time with Koniso to the best, or would you have liked more time with her? And then for Brad, I also want to know the same from you. Okay, Mark, you first.
Sure. So no, I think I had sufficient time. Like I said, we spend such little time with her, but I really use the time to get to know the dynamic of everyone else. So kind of the compatibility, and you really do get into deep chats when you're sitting in a beautiful mansion alongside a river, doing nothing all day on some days. So you really get to know everyone else. The time that I did spend with her was valued and was great. It was enough. We actually did get to spend quite a bit of time together, chatting and interacting, whether it was on a group date or the rugby, and we had some cool moments together. And yeah, what a great person. I think we did connect in terms of the level that we understood each other. So definitely, yeah, I wouldn't change it.
And Brad?
Yeah, so from what I found is Koniso seems to be an exceptional person. She seems to have a lot of great qualities. She seems to be outgoing. She seems to have a lot of good values, which I respect. But yes, in terms of my time, unfortunately, I didn't necessarily have the time with her to sort of relay our commonalities. So it is unfortunate, but I would have liked to spend a bit more time with her. But it's one of those things. But in terms of the person that she was, I only saw mostly good characteristics. So I think the Bachelorette did, South Africa, to choose a good one with her. That's for sure.
Just on another note, do you think if you had to put yourself in her shoes and you had to take part in, like you were the Bachelor, can you actually see the dynamic of how difficult it is to be in that position, or do you think you can handle it? That's now a notorious question. I'm wondering it looks so easy, but I think it's damn difficult. You're playing with people's heart. You don't want to hurt anybody.
So,
do you think you could take part in something like that ever?
So I do respect what Koniso has done, and seeing what happens in the background and seeing how she imparted a bit of herself in every single person, in every single conversation. She tried to put a lot of energy with each interaction and each engagement. So she did try to give her time as much as possible. And what I saw from that is that it can be extremely difficult emotionally to put yourself in that same position. So I think, I respect her for taking, to put herself in that position, because it is 100 times more difficult than what you see on TV. What we see on TV is highlights, it's snippets, but what she goes through emotionally, I can tell you it's a lot more than that. So it's not an easy job to do. And I would think twice before, putting myself in those shoes, because it's a lot more it's a lot more emotionally entangled than you think on TV.
Yeah, it is not easy ever opening your heart, especially on national TV, and then having to fight for the goal with all those genuinely good guys around. Is it something you would do again, Mark?
Sure. I don't think I want to do season 2, so I've kind of had it for season. But yeah, I just want to kind of reiterate on what Brad said, and I must compliment her that there's never a time where she's in on-screen character. Like Koniso is her to the T. What you see is what you get. She's a people's person. We always got the best of her and the most truest form of her. It was never out of character. So whenever you interacted with her, it was, although it's kind of sensationalized because it's on TV, and under camera, it's always the kind of calm nervous because there's so many people around you and you've got these decisions, but very still true to herself. She's still a person, and she really relayed that across, that she is still a person and she is still going through that. Would I do it again if I had to start again? Absolutely. I really enjoyed the process for what I went into it to do and to kind of achieve and put myself out there. And like Brad said as well, you're putting yourself up there in a different level because you're exposed, and there's a lot more courage in being vulnerable than people do think. So it's also what you kind of take out of it. But yeah, in a different environment, different setting, maybe not for the same kind of formats and program, but definitely it is something that you could ever look at again. Yeah.
Now, Brad, do you think there's anything that you could have done differently to change the outcome of tonight's episode or tonight's rose ceremony?
So to be honest, I think I put a lot of myself out there. So I was quite honest, and with the person who I am. If that wasn't enough, or if Peniso didn't see much in that, or if she couldn't relate, because it's also about her as well. If she can't see a potential future with you, then rather cut you early, or cut you as early as possible, or if she feels a stronger connection with some of the other guys as well, rather go for that and explore it further. So I don't think there's anything I could have done differently, and I wouldn't change what I have done. Although there were a few awkward moments here and there, you learn from these things, and you sort of take it as it comes, and you enjoy it or take the experience as it was. So it's one of those things.
Well, the awkward moments, it's actually not quite natural because it's an awkward situation. It's a different situation. So yeah, I can expect awkward moments. Now, guys, I must say you stayed in a beautiful location in a lovely house. Now, Didi and I recently had a short business trip to the lovely coastal town of Hermanus. So I don't know I know, Brad, you do know Cape Town. I don't know about Mark, but we stayed in this beautiful 4-star Hermanus guest house. So we want to show you what it looks like there. Just maybe we can make you a little jealous.
Oh, that was nice memories. But Mark, as a Joburg resident, what did you think of that? Did it entice you a bit?
I've got a big love for Cape Town and surrounds. And yeah, so if you're willing to ship us all down there, the boys do need to catch up when the series finished. And we do like some sea, so we're more than welcome to try it out and give a review as well. But it really does look great.
Well, I must mention that they do have a midweek special. So if you're coming in as midweek, you can get a 45% discount. So yeah, you mustn't miss out on that one. So you can go and write it in your diary so long. Yeah, it's actually from Sundays to Thursdays, and hopefully it's before the end of March. Do you think you'll be here then?
I don't know. I'm going
Too
to
soon.
take a bit of break, but yeah, we could always slot something in between. I don't know if Brad's keen to go for a boys' weekend, but we definitely need a break. That's for sure.
Brad, are you in? Listen, yeah, I want to say something that I was thinking about. I think if I would have been in the position that Kuniso is in, I would actually, I see a lot about, even if it's already been cut and snippeted, how the people are reacting and responding behind Kuniso's back. And I mean, that's quite for me, a thing to say about someone's character. And I mean, if I was a bachelorette, I would have actually liked to, it's you must observe more. I know that she must talk to everybody, but it's like you guys said, they all are like pretending, and only some of them, because they're doing this big, it's like in out there in the wild, if you want the girl animal, what do you call it now? Then you put all your best tricks in front, and I think that's sad because that also happens. So the general or the authenticity of a person doesn't normally or sometimes shine through. But yeah, that's just something off the top of my head that I was thinking of now. But in any case, back to Kuniso. Mark, would you describe her as your ideal girl?
Yeah, if I can just, what you raised a very valid point, and I think I just want to kind of touch on that. So, because it is very, very important for people to understand that it's such a pressured environment. First of all, you're coming onto red carpet, you're meeting her for the first time. And like you said, everybody doesn't know what kind of game to play, what she's looking for. So naturally, as a guy and as a girl, you don't know. You could be sitting, and I could be sitting looking at Brad and thinking, Brad looks 10 times better than I do in a suit, and you really don't know until you get to know her. And what she's looking for. You could be, is she looking for someone that's very smart or very intellectual, or is down to earth or very sporty? And that came across very strong with the first impression rose with Ruan. Ruan completely knocked the socks out of everybody, and obviously the viewers had a look as well. And we were shocked because he came in there a very quiet person, like a really dark horse, and then stole the show on many occasions. So that was the biggest thing for everybody else. And the cocktail party is one of those things. The red carpet is one of those things. You want to try and swoop in and say the best words. You want to try and be charming. You want to try and be cute. But on the same thing, you understand that behind everything, you're still getting to know the person. Like the end game is, this is a person that you're going to potentially fall in love with and marry. And all of this is going to be behind you. The red carpet, the pouring a drink or acting on a touch rugby field. So that's a very important thing that people need to also realize, is there is a separate part of that. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken out of this, that you're sitting in a house with all these guys, but you don't know who she's looking at and what she's looking for. What is her ideal guy? So back to the question in terms of Kuniso and compatibility in the person. She's such a dynamic person, just sitting and chatting to her. She's so open. She's very well traveled. She's obviously commercially minded in terms of her own career. So she's looking for someone that's already emotionally traveled and put everything aside, but really someone that can build and support. She doesn't need someone that needs to put her in a spotlight. She's got her own spotlight. And that's also very hard to accept. So can you shine with her in her own light? And will you be okay to kind of shine in a shadow? So that's one thing that came across strong. But just really getting to know when you sit and talk to her, she's such a very cool, dynamic, eccentric, but really down to earth, loving person. Apart from and the fact that you didn't get on to a certain point, that you didn't get to Rose, I made it very clear that it's compatibility. For me, it wasn't about we look good together on the arm. Like what do we look good together in the future? For me, that was the biggest part. So like I said, I wouldn't have been true to myself or her to stand up there and just take a kind of a free ride because I thought someone else might have a better shot. So yeah.
It's a very mature way to look at it. But then Bradley, is Kuniso as beautiful as we see her on our screen?
I think even more so, to be honest. I think she looks even more beautiful in person. That's for sure. I think whenever she walked into a room, she, the spotlight was on her, and I think everyone's attention sort of drew onto her. So, yeah, the TV doesn't really do it justice, to be honest.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, another episode of Bachelorette SA season 1 just aired, and we saw Mark and Bradley leaving the house as fallen roses. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also to our guests for talking to us. Now,
I just want to say something, Didi. I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. On the throughout these 3 seasons, the guys were just taking off their shirts like anything. But tonight they are very much wearing their shirts. Is it because we're not the Bachelorettes?
Yes, unfortunately, Annette and Didi, I think we'll have to wait to another day for that to happen.
Bradley, when you guys come to visit us in Hermanus.
Okay, that sounds good. In Hermanus, we'll definitely make a plan of it.
I just excuse Annette. She's been let out for the week. I must take her back. My from us, Happening Media, goodbye, stay safe, sanitize, and remember to mask up. Mark?